Richmond.
Sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. Sound of
WSOM. Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. Sound of
WSOM. Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. Sound of
WSOM. Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. Sound of
WSOM. Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. Sound of
I'm Bruce, your host, and tonight we have a special friend of the family musical guest, Keely Burn. How you doing, Keely?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Doing well. So, will you be playing piano for us tonight or ukulele?
Piano this time.
Piano this time. So, what do you like about ukuleles? Because this is a question that sometimes escapes me as a guitar player.
I totally understand. I feel the opposite way, as I'm assuming you would feel about ukuleles, because I love the fact that, one, it's tiny, so my teeny tiny hands can fit around it and don't have to go like that when I'm trying to reach for different strings. And I also like that there's only 4 strings because I just can't fathom, for some reason, how to make chords with 6 strings.
Now, I will say that I do like ukuleles, if only for one important reason. George Harrison of the Beatles was a ukulele maniac and used to entertain friends for literally hours with traditional ukulele songs at his home. So
I didn't know that.
That says it all for ukuleles. All you need to know is that George Harrison liked them. So
Oh,
Keely,
yeah.
how's your so tell us a little bit. Let's backtrack a little because I haven't seen much of you for a while. How's life been with with our apocalyptic scenario, COVID, all kinds of stuff going on? How's your life changed?
Well, my life has changed, I'd say, pretty significantly, especially because being at home, I'm not working, so I've had a lot of time to be at home, usually by myself, and it makes you more introspective, and you start like really looking into things, looking into like yourself and your place in the world, I guess, not to sound too pretentious.
Is that good or bad?
I'd say that that's a good thing, because I always like to be very aware of, well, a lot of things, which is why the title of my EP is called I've Never Been More Aware. But I always like to be self-aware, and I think that exploring like your inner self is important.
Now, let's get this in early while people are still awake, right?
Yeah.
Where can people find your music to listen to and or purchase it?
Well, purchases can be made on Bandcamp, which is keelybmusic.bandcamp.com, and also in the iTunes Store, although I'm not really sure how long the iTunes Store will be a viable option, but that's another story. You can also stream it on Spotify, and those are like the big ones, I guess, but it really can be found anywhere that music is sold.
Now, I know before we all got shut down, you were playing around town a fair amount. What are some of your favorite places to play?
I really like, the last show that I did was at Castleberg Brewery, which is not too far from here. And I really like that place a lot, and that was a great show. I really like the people who run it too. Also, probably my other favorite venue would be Crossroads Coffee and Ice Cream, because it's funny, like, even though like they're really tiny, but I love the intimate space, and that's like a plus for me. And also, when I like always wanted to play there ever since I first went there and saw a band playing there, I'm like, I could do that. So I really like that I've gotten to do that.
Now, are you from Richmond?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to high school at Douglas Freeman, and I went to college in New York. So I spent a few years.
I got to stop
Not
you there before you move on. We'll get there, but
Oh, yeah.
I went to a school near Freeman, we shall say. But I knew a lot of people at Freeman, obviously a different decade by several. But
Yes.
there was a big weed culture at Freeman when I was that younger. How was it when you went there?
I really don't remember that much, because maybe that was because of the weed. But it was, I feel like mostly I stuck around like mostly like super straight edge people, or if they did that, they just didn't talk about it. So I feel like I missed the whole experience.
Now, was there a teacher there that you really felt like helped you along your musical path that you can mention or talk about? Or not?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, our
Did they hold you down?
no, our band and chorus teachers were both great. Amy Haruska and Rob Blankenship were the chorus and band teachers, and I was in both chorus and band. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. Like, I did some of my original material one year for this showcase that we did with the choir, and that was that was probably like some of the first times that the people at school heard my music.
Were you playing music before that? When did you take up an instrument?
I was writing songs before I started playing an instrument. So I guess I started writing like when I was maybe 13. Although my songs, when I look back on them, they are not good. But I started playing an instrument when I was 16 because I got accepted at the Interlochen Summer Arts Camp. And the program I had signed up for was songwriting. And I had written all these songs, but I like had melodies and lyrics and everything, but I couldn't play them. So we did like pretty much a crash course on piano because it was the easiest one to pick up, I guess. And that's just how it's been ever since. I picked it up and I didn't put it down.
So that's really interesting that you started off with songwriting and then found an instrument, because most people like bang around on an instrument and go, oh, I wrote a song. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting you were so song-focused right from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I've always like written a lot of things. Like used to write. I still do write some like fiction sometimes. But I guess it would be called poetry, except I really wanted to like be a singer too, so I would try to force melodies to happen.
Was it? And then I believe, where'd you go? And then you went to music school or college after that?
Yeah, I went to Five Towns College, the performing arts school on Long Island.
Cool. So what do you feel like? I'm just going to throw this out there and show one of my biases. As far as like popular music, there are exceptions, but a lot of popular music songwriters did not go to music school, and I occasionally find people who went to music school to be kind of stale songwriters. I'll just throw out John Mayer in my personal opinion. So what do you feel like, since you were a songwriter first, I think it's interesting, how do you feel like going to music school developed you as a songwriter?
I'd say I know a lot more chords now. The only unfortunate thing is I didn't get to take as many classes about songwriting as I'd liked, mostly because there weren't that many, and also because of like my requirements to my major and all that, because I was a performance major. But I think that I definitely got a better grasp on music theory, and the best thing it did is expose me to so many different artists. Like, I had never really listened to jazz before I went, and that was funny that their school was mostly jazz focused.
Interesting.
So then that like totally exposed me to like this world that I didn't know was amazing, and I love it, especially like the old American songbook classic stuff.
Cool. Hey, we're live from Sound of Music here with musical artist Keely Burn interview, and she's going to do some songs later for us. We're here at Sound of Music Studios, where you can have your music recorded, mixed. We do videos, and we've been doing a lot of live streaming if you want to get out there and touch base with your fans in these trying times in a safe manner. By the way, Keely and I are separated by, I don't know, like 100 feet. I'm in the control room. She's out in the main tracking room with that wonderful piano. And so we're all socially distanced here. So safe to be at Sound of Music. Keely,
Yeah.
So what are some artists that you love and feel like they've really influenced your life in music?
Well, it's like hard, I guess it's kind of hard to say.
Come on, chop chop.
No, I will. Okay. Yeah. The first, I guess the first biggest artist was U2. And I was a big fan of them for
What's your favorite album?
many years. Of theirs or just in general?
Of theirs.
Of theirs, probably either The Joshua Tree or Achtung Baby. It like goes between. And that, so they really influenced me early on. And then later, Joni Mitchell became a huge inspiration. And just like lyrics in particular, like I wish I could write that well. And then more recently, I got into more like folk and acoustic music. And I'd say like my current favorite band is Punch Brothers, who are like kind of a bluegrassy, bluegrass instruments, but more of like a pop focus.
Cool.
And things like them and a lot of like other bluegrass and country stuff has taught me more about songwriting.
Cool. Let's see. So one thing I noticed listening to your music, you have extremely, and it's kind of unique and interesting and cool in these times as far as music, you have very clear diction in your singing. I mean, I can hear it. Every syllable is sharp and sung. Was there an influence that made you sing that way, or is just that the way you've always sung?
Well, part of it is the way that I've always sung, but mostly it's just the years of choir that I was in. Like, I was in choir since middle school. I did choir all throughout. And I guess I should shout out chamber singers in college, because our professor, Stephen Pagano, was like a huge influence on the way that I sing now in terms of diction. And I started noticing things like vowels and pronunciation and all those like good things that make it important to sing in a choir together.
Because I definitely can't peg you as a Richmonder from your singing.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting comment. What do you think Richmonders usually?
A little more lazy, a little more slurry. But it depends, because You know, it's kind of an interesting subject when I was listening to your music because, you know, the Beatles didn't sound like they were from Liverpool when they were singing. Mm-hmm. And they're American punk bands who try to sound like they're from England.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're country bands that try to sound Southern, even though they're from like Minnesota.
Yeah.
So the singing accent, and I kind of do like a Southern mush mouth thing when I sing. So the singing accent really seems variable either by accident or because people are trying to project something. So I just kind of thought yours was unique and from what I listen to these days.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's something that stands out.
Oh, goodness. So something I noticed about when I was listening to your music, and I believe I'm thinking about like, oh, I don't know, several of the songs, shall we say?
Yeah.
I think there's an interesting like element of descriptions of human social interaction, like about people not being able to talk to each other, or the person who the voice of the song is not being able to communicate. You know, a lot of, you know, I could, you know, interpretations can go forever on any song. Mm-hmm. But I did notice like kind of a theme of social anxiety sometimes. You know, what are some of the songs like on your last EP was what I was listening to that you could kind of talk about in that vein?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the centerpiece of that EP for me is the song When I'm Acting, which is like everything that you just said, which is probably one of the most honest to me songs that I've ever written. Because I have always been, I don't know, like I guess I'd always say that I'm extremely introverted and won't be hardly ever the one to talk first. Always kind of afraid of interacting and how people will perceive me, which is why I think it's important to be aware of yourself. But then there's a point where self-awareness becomes too much and you get anxious over it, and that's really what I wrote that song about maybe people will like me better if they see me in a certain way. And yeah, that's that song.
I like the twist at the end of the song because the main voice of the song at the beginning and most of the song is talking about them putting on an act, but then at the end, the person they're talking to is described as putting on an act.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of that's like not a thing that I'm the only person who's ever felt like that. Like I'm sure everyone in some way puts on an act, not meaning to always, but yeah, I like that idea of being less reactive versus being interactive.
And then, cool. And another song I was interested in, I think it has at least one lyric that I don't think has been in any other song. So you are unique. I believe that's I feel like a doorstop, and then the lyric I really like is I feel like a kayak. Could you talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah. I wrote that. That was the song I auditioned to go to Interlochen with.
Oh, cool.
And I wrote that pretty much all in, I guess I would say all in one night when I was like feeling depressed when I was a teenager, as you do when you're a teenager. And I was thinking about like kind of being dangerous to others maybe in one way, one interpretation. So I said, like, I feel like a kayak plunging over the cliff that will lead to their death. Because I thought of, like, being out of control to the point where you might hurt people.
Interesting.
Although it's funny because I never really, like, acted on that. I was always a very stay inside the lines type of person, like, very reserved. But I guess inside I felt like I was kind of out of control.
Interesting. Well, I do know you can, when I see you in person, you do come off shy, but then when you're on stage, you do that thing where some people are shy and then are 10 feet tall on stage.
That's nice to hear. I feel like a lot of the people that I've looked up to are kind of like that.
So I want to return to the ukulele. When did you take it up?
I took up ukulele, well, it took me a while because I think it was maybe when I was like 16 and I was starting to write, actually start writing songs. And that Christmas, my grandfather gave me the baritone ukulele that I still
cool.
have. But I didn't really for one thing, I was like so clueless, I didn't even know that it was a baritone and it had different strings and everything. So I just got like regular ukulele strings, and then for years was like, why does this sound so bad? But yeah, when I took it when I went to college, and then I started playing it more often there.
Because that brings me to another song of yours that I think you had a video up of, I think it was Girl with Glasses Who Plays Ukulele. You can clear that title up for me. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Yes, there. And now I kind of wish that I had my ukulele. But yeah, that is a song that I wrote just about 2 years ago. I have a video coming out for it eventually.
Oh, cool.
We just need to get some coloring and done, and then the mixing on the song and etc. But it's called Cute Girls with Glasses Who Play Ukulele, because I was noticing there was this trend of cute girls with glasses who play ukulele, and sometimes just cute girls without glasses who play ukulele. But it was like a very popular thing among girls, I guess. And I guess like also I was joking around with some people from the studio who may or may not be named. And we were talking about that, and I thought like it would be fun to write a song about that to make people laugh. And I tried. And it kind of has like an element of being a hipster, but then I was like trying to make it kind of like a stereotypical hipster song, but then as I was writing it, I'm like, I want to add in some parts that really bug me about how people when they kind of idolize a woman for being like quirky or different. So I started like adding that to the song too, and that's what it ended up mostly being about.
So, yeah, I like that one.
Thank you.
Was it, so I know that, since you kind of started getting out more on the Richmond scene and playing out and things, I know you've met other musicians in town. Who are some of the musicians in town that you've met that you feel like have kind of influenced you locally?
I don't know it's always hard for me to talk about influences because I'm not always that conscious of it. So I guess I'll just name some people who I've really enjoyed listening to and have bought their music. Well, recently, like ever since they've done Bandcamp Fridays where all of the proceeds go to the artist, I've been trying to buy it from Richmond artists. And I think mostly I've bought some music from Tiara and Andrew the most. They're a duo. They do pop music, and it's just like really nice, mostly really nice, like chill out music for me, catchy stuff. And then there's my friend Amira, who just released an EP this year. I've just been like so in love with that EP. It's so beautiful. And I guess also I guess like this is actually, you might have been watching this series, but I'm gonna name someone who was on this series before, was Dirty Metal Lefty, whose her record See What Had Happened Was I really like. And there are some great songs on that too.
So Keely Burn recommends Tiara and Andrew, Amira, and Dirty Metal Lefty for your listening pleasure. Go check them out.
Yes.
So, so what are you doing? I guess there's standard answers to this, but do you have like a glide path of things that you're doing that you want to learn or that you're practicing to be a better musician and songwriter?
That's important. I'm trying now to be like a better pianist. Although I'd say like I don't want to ever sound bragging or like I'm putting myself down, so I won't comment on how I feel my skills are, but I do feel like they could be a bit better. So I've been like mostly learning or writing my own arrangements of songs or learning other people's songs and playing them on piano to practice better. And I'm trying to get more comfortable in front of an audience or in front of a camera. And yeah, as far as songwriting goes, I'm trying to let myself because I've always been very hard on myself when I'm writing songs. So I'm trying to get the idea that what you put down on the page isn't permanent. It can be changed later if you don't think that it's good enough. And sometimes if you put it down on the page and like you aren't really sure about it, like it's okay to get help from someone else and ask like, do you think this is fine? It's like hard to let someone in on that level, I guess. But I'm trying to share my lyrics with people more and get more responses.
Ooh, Keely, I said you could ask me a question. Ask me what I've been doing for practice lately.
What have you been doing for practice lately, Bruce?
I've been learning heavy metal scales on guitar that I will never use in my own music.
Oh!
But I just got obsessed with it, so I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's like a dead end glide path. So let's think.
What's your favorite scale, Bruce?
My favorite scale, the Hungarian minor scale.
Ooh.
Tell me about the Hungarian.
The Hungarian minor scale. I think it was used by Richie Blackmore in, I don't know, the Rainbow Rising album, but that's just totally off the subject. But that's okay, because it's live. Like
Yeah.
the 50s, we can talk about what we want.
Yeah.
So here's where I wanted to go with this before I distracted myself.
Yes.
Keely, how ambitious are you?
This is something that I've been trying to write more songs about because I've been feeling it recently. I've been trying to think like, just because you aren't doing as much as other people have been doing, does that mean that you're less ambitious? Does that mean you want it any less? And I haven't really found an answer to that because I feel like that feeling of like I could be doing more, sometimes it's just feeling anxious and like, oh my God, like people are going to forget about me if I don't do as much as I can to put myself out there. But then there's also like a level of comfort to it, to draw, like keeping yourself back a little. So I don't know how to answer that exactly.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like, I think you got, to me, you have your music part down and it's just getting better and better. But I mean, what things do you think you need to do or are doing so that more people will hear you in the future?
Oh, yes. Well, mostly I just try to, before like live music became a kind of non-entity for a while, I was going to open mics as much as I could so I could just interact with the community, and I always brought business cards, as corny as that might sound, but
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I would like to try to meet other people, and always like if someone I heard was like really impressive and I enjoyed them, then I would come to want to like tell them that and try to make an impression. Not like I had any intentions like I want to be seen as a good person, but just because I genuinely like them, but I also want them to know about my music too.
So could you see yourself, with all the modernity and intranets and all these days, it matters a little less, but could you see yourself moving to more of a musical city like Nashville or LA or New York?
Definitely. I could, New York is kind of out for me, because I've just seen it, and it's not that great, in my opinion. But Nashville and LA, I could definitely see myself going there sometime.
I know what you could do. You can go to Nashville and you could be on one of those songwriting teams. Do you know about those?
Yes, actually, that has been like one of my. I have like several dreams, which is kind of why I could feel stuck in stasis sometimes. But like that has been one of my biggest dreams.
Could you see like 2 to 4 people sitting in a room? There's a piano and maybe a ukulele in the room, right? To make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And you come out with like, I feel like a kayak, and then they have to take that and go, well, I could take that and make that the bridge, and then you have to do this. Do you feel like you could really like work as a team and compromise with people when it comes to songwriting?
Because I know that Nashville songwriting is mostly for other people, so in that terms, yes. That's like what I want to do all day, just like write songs with someone if I can.
Give me the money.
But it wouldn't be about the money because I would be enjoying it too.
Well, I mean, I know people who've done that and really enjoyed it, and people who felt like it destroyed their soul. So I guess it depends on what your expectations are when you get there.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
rambling around, but now we're going to do something a little more serious. Would you please play us some of your wonderful music?
Yes.
Thank you.
I had plans to start with when I'm acting, and since we talked about it, I might as well let people know what I was talking about. You question me, but I don't have all the answers. I know what I want, but I'm scared to take my chances. My natural behavior will never win me favor, so I'll make up the words you want to hear. I write all my own songs, but I never know who'll listen. I can sing a high C, but I can't speak above a whisper. Crowd's attention is never my intention, and now my point of view is very clear. I know you'll like me better when I'm acting, and once you get to know me, you'll agree. You'll find me more attractive when I am less reactive. You'll like me more when I'm not me. I prefer myself to everyone I know, but I'm not speaking from my ego. Deep down, I'm such a bore. Socializing is a chore. Stuck searching for the words you want to hear. I know you'll like me better when I'm acting. I'll prove my point to you, just wait and see. You'll find me more attractive when I am less reactive. You'll like me more when I'm not me. Please know I don't intend to deceive. So easy to pretend and make believe. I know you'll like me better when I'm acting, and once you get to know me, you'll agree. You'll find me more attractive when I am less reactive. You'll like me more when I'm not me. I know you'll like me better when I'm acting, but maybe I'm no different from you. You think you're more attractive when you are interactive, and now I know you're acting too. Thank you.
You
I
may
get
play
to-
more.
Okay.
Thank you.
I didn't know that we were continuing. I'm going to try to squeeze the next two ones in.
You're good.
All right, good. So this is a song called Guiding Light, which I've been tossing around ideas for which is going to be the lead single from my upcoming album, and I think this might be it. 2, 3, 4. Hop in my Toyota and put the gear in drive. I'm hoping that a midday cruise will bring me back to life. This pain overloading the news does nothing to ease my blues. Turn off the radio, I can't take this anymore. Put an album in my stereo to help drown out the roar of hatred, discomfort, despair, all else that humanity shares. Every cloud has a silver lining, but all I saw was gray. Then I heard your voice beside me, your song showed me the way through the endless path of night. You were my guiding light. Pull up at a stop sign, notes dancing through my ears. Inside my rolling jukebox, the world just disappears. Each lyric goes straight to my heart and keeps me from falling apart. The pouring rain can't touch me, the sorrow leaves my soul. I close my eyes to listen and ask to be made whole. Your voice is begging me to reach out in harmony. Every cloud has a silver lining, but all I saw was gray. Then I heard your voice beside me, your song showed me the way through the endless path of night. You were my guiding light. From the government officials to the deities I've shunned, their words could never move me the way your music does. The melodies and rhythms filling my headphones are like a part of heaven where I'll never be alone. Every cloud has a silver lining, but all I saw was gray. Then I heard your voice beside me, your song showed me the way through the endless path of night. You were my guiding light. Whether I was wrong or right, you were my guiding light. Thank you.
Excellent. Hey, we're here live from Sound of Music with our Wednesday live music and interview show. Our guest is Keely Burn. I'm your host, Bruce Smith. We're here at Sound of Music, where you can have your music recorded, mixed, mastered, do live streams and videos. And we're having fun with the show. I think this is our 5th show. We're going to keep going, doing 3 or 4 a month. We're off next week, but please subscribe so we can keep our momentum going. We've been increasing our viewership by leaps and bounds. Keely, you got some nice compliments here.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Apparently, you are unique and refreshing, and you really need to be on TikTok.
On TikTok.
That's what the word is. That's the
how
new
you-
thing for the kids, is what they're telling me on here.
Yeah, that's how you know it's real.
Yeah.
All right, well,
And let's hear another one if you're game.
yes. So my album that's coming out, which I don't know when it's coming out, we're still working on like instrumental overdubs, and then there's the mixing and all of that, but the album's going to be called Not My Masterpiece, and this song is the title track. You say it won't happen again. You say you can't be tamed. But I know the way you behave, and I'm not one to blame. You say, please forgive me. I just lost my head. So eager to please when you're on your knees. You should stick to keeping promises instead. Hiding behind the traces of shame in your eyes. I know the truth, but still I ask for lies. We're playing tug of war. What are we playing for when you've got me holding the leash? Don't make me impose control. I'm not responsible. You're not my masterpiece. You're not my masterpiece. You're a work in progress. You're looking to improve. But if you wanna be trained, don't give me the reins, 'cause I can't even make myself move. I can't be your conscience, whispering in your ear. If you only knew how to benefit you, your sorrow would feel more sincere. There comes a point when I won't forgive anymore. Don't be surprised when you come home to find that I've locked the door. We're playing tug of war. What are we playing for when you've got me holding the leash? Don't make me impose control. I'm not responsible. You're not my masterpiece. You're not my masterpiece. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're playing tug of war. What are we playing for when you've got me holding the leash? Don't make me impose control. I'm not responsible. You're not my masterpiece. We're playing tug of war. What are we playing for when you've got me holding the leash? Don't make me impose control. I'm not responsible. You're not my masterpiece. You're not my masterpiece.
Oh, that was nice, Keely. I'm glad that really was the end of the song.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Okay. Yeah, there's usually, we've already talked about like songs that are personal to me, but then there's a lot of songs that I write that are not personal and are just kind of stories that I imagine. And lyrically, that was that. But musically, I just one day sat down at a piano and just really liked that. And then just like, it was once one of the few songs that I've written that I just based it on how I liked the sound of the chords together. Instead of like singing a melody and then being like, which chords go to this melody? this was based purely around music, the music part.
So Keely, I think you just showed with your set how music industry savvy you are, because you started off with an older song to get us to buy your last album, and now you just did 2 hot out of the creative forge to get us all anticipating your new one. So A+ job there.
Thank you.
So we got a couple more minutes left. Once again, we're live from Sound of Music with musical artist Keely Burn, who's sharing her music with us. And I'm Bruce, your host. Please subscribe. I'll say it 400 times. Anyway, Keely, just to finish up for the night, what's next for musical artist Keely Burn?
Next would be try to get this album out. We're still working on, like I said, instrumental overdubs is the biggest thing. We need like some bass parts, some string parts, and other things like that. But as soon as I get that out, as soon as it's mixed, then I can decide what am I gonna do with it.
Any plans on the artwork?
I already have the photography taken. We just did a photo shoot a couple weeks ago in what's the name of the? It's on the south side. It was we were like looking for a parking lot that had like cracks in it, so like an abandoned parking lot, to kind of show like growth in urban places. And we didn't find a place like that, but we took a whole bunch of pictures in like alleyways and on sidewalks and stuff. So as soon as I get those photos back, I can pick which one is going to be the cover.
Well, I think you've got a lot to look forward to and be excited in the coming year or year and so, depending on how things go, but we're going to be positive. So thanks for being on the show, Keely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for tuning in. Good night from Sound of Music.
WSOM Richmond.
Sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.
sound of music. I said the sound of music. I said the sound of music. The sound of
WSOM Richmond.